What's up, fantastic? Aleksi here, bringing you another authentic, fun and useful video about Finland. So if you're interested in Finland, subscribe, it's gonna be worth it. So today we're actually gonna talk about if you should learn Finnish, because there's many people who want to come to Finland, just maybe short term, long term. Many people are wondering, like, should they learn Finnish? Is it worthwhile learning Finnish and stuff? Well, let's find out. Well, the first question I want to ask you is, are you actually planning to come to Finland? Because Finland is the only country that speaks Finnish, around 5.5 million people in Finland, so it's not much. So the only possible reason why you should even learn Finnish is that you plan to come to Finland. And also, are you gonna be here for short term or long term? And for example, if you plan to come here for just a short term visit, let's say exchange period for 1/2 a year, a full year, and then you're probably gonna go back, then I would say that it's not really necessary to learn, because, well, you probably know that Finnish people are good at English. Wherever you go in Finland, you probably can manage your stuff with English only. That's pretty good stuff, I think. But here's the thing, if you plan to come here long term, let's say that you have maybe a Finnish partner and you plan to come here, or you just want to move here, get the job, start living here, then I definitely think you should start learning Finnish, because there's many of reasons, but one of the important reasons is that if you know the language, you have better chances to find a job here. And actually the current situation here in Finland in job market, especially for foreigners, is kind of bad. I'm following for example, a Facebook group, Find Work in Finland, and there's a lot of people always talking about the topic, and many times it just comes up that if you don't know the language, you have lesser chance to get let's say good job or decent job. And unfortunately, I've actually heard many times that there are, for example, people who study a master's degree here and then they just end up like a toilet cleaners or some that kind of job. So master's degree is not, or it's probably a little bit too much for that kind of job. But yeah, the thing is that in cleaning job you don't really need the language, so that's why some people end up doing. Obviously there are people who have better jobs, but I've heard that kind of stories, unfortunately. And if you plan to come here, get a decent job, then start learning Finnish today. Seriously. And if you've been watching some of my previous interview videos with some foreigners who in Finland, and every one of them have recommended to start learning Finnish. And not just a job thing, but in general, if you know the local language, you understand the people better, the culture better, the lifestyle better, everything better. And actually I can relate this, well, I'm a Finnish person, I can't really give any Finnish experience on that, but well, you probably know, if you've been following this channel for a while, that I was in Japan when I started this channel. I was there for 1 year. In retrospect, I'm really happy that I went through learning Japanese, because I had so much more fun in Japan when I was able to speak Japanese.
じゃあ、どこちゃん、エリカちゃん、登るはどうでしたか？
寒かったけど綺麗でした。
うん、ショベルも多分楽しかったね。
楽しかった。お尻が一番滑ってました。転んでました。
はい。じゃあね、一緒に頑張ってたね。イエーイ。
I wasn't even fluent, I was even close to fluent, but I had conversational skills, I was able to read some stuff. It didn't only help me a ton, because I was able to get around, ask questions, read some signs and stuff, but I was able to communicate with the locals, and that was a lot of fun, especially because they don't really expect foreigners to speak their language, and especially if you know some funny phrases, then it always makes the interaction more fun, If you come to Finland, if you plan to stay here for a while, learn the language, because it's gonna make your stay much more fun. Okay, I said you can get around with Finnish, with English, people speak English, but if you know Finnish, the interactions become much more fun, much more how to say, there's much more into it, in my opinion. So definitely, knowing the language here doesn't just only help you a lot, terms of work stuff, getting by and stuff, but it will also enrich your experience. I'm serious about that. You probably know that I have a Japanese girlfriend and we use English and Japanese, but we have a lot of inside humor in Japanese, and we have a lot of communication and interaction in Japanese, and I think it adds a completely new dimension to our relationship, because we can have fun with the language and enrich our relationship with the new language. And it's just so much fun. Like sometimes I come up with a new sentence or in Japanese, and then I make like a really funny, corny, or even naughty example sentence, and she always cracks up because she thinks it's funny when I know fun stuff in her language. And I think, like, if you have a Finnish boyfriend or girlfriend, pretty sure you mostly communicate in English, but they're gonna appreciate it a lot if you can even make some really simple stuff, even maybe even funny stuff in their language. That's a big plus. And there's also one thing I want to mention about that. Like I said, Finns are good at English. In order to get better in Finnish, you have to speak Finnish, and preferably with Finnish native speakers. But the thing is that often, I've heard this many times, that Finns actually just stick with English rather than speaking Finnish, even if a foreign learner wants to speak Finnish, but they like the threshold to changing back to English for Finns is really low. I know many couples where they say that my Finnish boyfriend or girlfriend just doesn't want to speak Finnish with me, but like you should just say like perkele, please speak Finnish, puhu suomea mun kanssa. You have to just make it clear, you know? That's what I want to say. 20-30 minutes a day. It's not much, but imagine how much it's gonna improve you in 1 week, 2 weeks, month, 2 months, 6 months, if you do that every day for 20 minutes. Here I assume that you have access to a Finnish speaker every day, but that's how you learn. That's how you learn, and you should definitely do that. And obviously, well, talking about Finnish also, find the best way how you learn. Well, speaking is definitely always good in anything, but you know, everyone learns different ways. Some like to take classes, some like to play some video games, some like to read books, and spend time also how to find the best way to learn Finnish. And also really important thing when it comes to learning any language. Knowing a language does not equal knowing the grammar. Like this is what, for example, Annisa said her in the Finnish video we did together.
Kieli on niin kuin viestintäväline, että alkaa niin kuin pelkakkoa puhumaan suomea, alkaa pelkakkoa tekee virheitä, vaan puhua ja sitten pikkuhiljaa se kielitaito kasvaa.
Language is a way of communicating with another person. Grammar kind of structures the rules, but it's not necessary to know the grammar in order to get the message through and also receive the messages. This is really important. This is why you should start speaking as soon as possible without looking into the grammar that much. Maybe you can look a little few basic stuff, but then start speaking as soon as possible because it's gonna make wonders for you. Okay, so to conclude, if you plan to come to Finland, a short term, not necessary to learn. If you just come here for like 1 year exchange, there's a lot of English speakers, the university runs in English, many people in the different service professions speak English, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. You can learn some basic stuff and, you know, get a little bit inside the language. It helps you to understand us much better when you do. If you plan to come here long term, absolutely you need to start learning, and you don't need to be fluent in order to make progress and, you know, get access to different things. As long as you get the basics done, get core structures, core vocabulary, maybe some core grammar, and then start speaking, get the experience, get the confidence in your Finnish. Slowly it starts to open. And for example, if you watch the video with Raul, he said that he was able, under a year, able to communicate and say people that I can speak Finnish. Well, he was actually taking classes, so it makes sense. But you know, it just shows you guys and girls that it is possible. I'm gonna give you also a resource. If you're still like, let's say, abroad, want to start learning Finnish today from your couch, from your bed, or wherever you're watching this video, go to the description. There's a link to WordDive. It's a Finnish language learning platform. They also offer a really good Finnish course. With the link, you can do it 2 weeks for free, and after that, it's gonna be a month only, and you have access to a really comprehensive Finnish course. This was a little bit different video. I was just talking here like this to you guys. Let me know in the comments what you think about the topics, and also Finnish people, remember, if there's a foreign person who wants to speak Finnish, remember to stick to that Finnish. Don't switch to English unless they asked you. If you haven't joined the Fantastic Squad, hit the subscribe button. You get authentic, fun and useful videos about Finland, and I'll see you in the next video. So moro!